So I'm here with today Carlos Lopes. He is a DACA recipient. He is a budding music producer with an amazing career ahead of him. He's also a social activist now as part of his music productions. Carlos, how you doing? Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
So Carlos, you're originally from Brazil.
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
When did you first come to the United States?
I was 12 years old when I first came.
And how old are you now?
21.
And your family moved to America. Why'd they come to America?
I had family in America previously. My aunt had moved here about 20 years ago. So then I came here with my mom. I don't have a dad. So me and my mom came to visit. We saw the opportunities and we decided to stay.
Now, when you came to visit, did your mom say to you, hey, we're moving to America? Or it was just you're 12 years old. You just follow whatever mom says to do, right?
It was sort of me and my mom. I had asked her to stay in order to learn English, but we didn't really understand the whole process of immigration. So we kind of just came and we overstayed our visa. And then, reality hits and we...
So what was the reality of, okay, you're going to come to America, the streets are paved with gold. Obviously, it's not. What was the reality for you that hit, especially once you overstayed on your visa?
As a kid, not so much. Growing up, it wasn't really a thing that I thought about. It was more up until high school when, senior year approached and college and all those, financial aid, taking a loan out. That's when it really hit me that, I couldn't do the things that an American kid could.
So you went to high school here. I guess you started in junior high school, and everything was good up until the time you became an adult. Is that correct?
Yes, about end of junior year when the whole college process started. That's when I really started to learn about my situation.
Now, how long have you had the DACA?
2 years.
2 years now.
Yes.
So up to that point, and it was around the time when you were applying for college, or you got DACA after you were already trying to get into school?
I got DACA after, so I graduated in 2014, and then at that point I had no DACA. So I, got accepted into a few schools, but then, I figured out the whole financial aid process and taking a loan out of the bank, and I couldn't do that. So I went on to community college, and in community college, that's when I received DACA.
I understand. And then at that point, you were able to transfer. I understand you're at Northeastern now. What are you studying there?
Business management.
Was it disappointing when you had to go to community college? You felt you were able to do more? You weren't able to do what you wanted to do? How did it make you feel?
So Somerville, Mass, where I moved to, is a very diverse city. There's kids from all over the place. And growing up in that environment, at first you're hanging out with the Brazilians, but then I saw an opportunity to start being involved with the American kids where, they're taking honors classes and AP classes, and that's when I kind of got into that friend group. And as they went on to go to college, I was ready to go to college, but then I really figured out that I couldn't. So it felt kind of disappointing because I knew I was capable of going on a 4-year university and doing relatively well, but seeing them go, and I was like, what, me giving up now isn't going to help my situation in the future. So I kind of accepted the fact that I can't go to 4-year university now, so I might as well go to community college. And there I worked very hard, which, got me into Northeastern University, which is relatively a very hard school to get. But overall, there was a disappointment, but I just accepted and I kept going.
How did you motivate yourself? Yeah, I hear what you're saying is you said you accepted it. Okay, you obviously have a lot to give this world, and we're going to talk about your music career in a second. But how did you motivate yourself? You say, wow, I just got hit over the head. I can't do what I want to do. I see all my friends, especially the Americans, being able to go off to school, get financial aid. How did you wake up in the morning and motivate yourself to say, okay, today's going to be a better day. This is, I'm going to survive. I'm going to be able to do it.
In my head, it was like I came from a very small city in Brazil to probably the best country in the world. And I was like, if I give up now, then I just felt that I had something to do and that I had to prove myself. And if I moved here, then there was a reason for me to keep going. There was no reason for me to stop.
Now I know that you are a budding music producer. You have a lot of followers on YouTube. A lot of your music has to do with the immigration experience. You're not the performer. You are the producer. How do you put your experience into the music of the artists that you're producing?
So I started a company about a year ago, and a couple of the artists that I've worked with come from immigration background, including a kid I grew up with, Prophet, who's Arabic. So he also came here when he was 2 years old, and his situation kind of got resolved. And then I also worked with this guy, Kyle Bent, who essentially did this song about President Trump,
Right.
talks about Trump and stuff. And you know, me coming from an immigration background, I kind of understand that, so it facilitates my way of working with that type of music.
How'd you get into the music business? How did you learn to do this?
I make videos.
Uh-huh.
I'm a film director. About a year ago, I thought to myself about this whole DACA situation, and you know how me getting a job might be complicated in the future due to, you know, DACA being dissolved. So I thought to myself, if I start a company now, I can guarantee something for my future that, you know, regardless of me having papers or not, I'll be able to work by myself and, you know, make money on my own rather than depend upon a job to make money.
So what are some of the messages that's in the music that you're filming, that you're making these videos for?
I work with a variety of music, but I worked with this guy, Kyle Bain, who really his music is very positive. He doesn't rap about, you know, the casual stuff that I usually see in music.
What's like the casual stuff you would see in music, and what does he rap about?
Casual stuff you see in music, you know, is guys talking about girls, money, and all of that.
Right.
And, you know, I understand that's part of the industry, but then there's also positive music where people talk about, you know, just being a better person and, you know, changing, having better values, things like that. And then also this guy, Prophet, is about the come up. So essentially working hard to get where you want to get in life. And, you know, regardless of what situation you're in, to really keep going until you reach success.
So what are your, okay, so how many artists, how many videos have you done? I mean, you're basically the videographer. How many videos have you done, and what are you most proud about of all the videos you've done?
I've done probably about 20 videos so far since we started this. There are videos that I'm more proud of in terms of passing a better message, such as Kyle Bent, the president, but then there's also videos where I'm proud of the artistic aspect of it in terms of, you know, creativity and the editing and all of that.
What makes you happy about the artistic value of what you did?
You know, in this industry is really about being different and, you know, coming up with your own ideas rather than trying to copy. It's really branding yourself in a way that people look up to you, and, you know, they're like, okay, this group of kids, they're unique in the way that they produce these videos. And to me is I want to grow my brand to the point that one day I can influence people to do better. You know, it's
Right.
not just about the artistic aspect, it's really growing a brand to the point that I can influence people to, you know, do things differently and you know, maybe help people.
So you're now a DACA recipient. You started your own company. You're successful. You're in school full time, getting a business degree. You're an artist. You're presenting a positive image for DACA recipients, for immigrants, for just people in general, for humanity. You have a message for Donald Trump?
I do. For Donald Trump and Republicans, Democrats, if this message ever gets to you, we just want to be given a chance. We're not here to take anybody's jobs. We're not here to harm anybody. We really just want to prove ourselves and build a career and build a life in the country that we have grown up in. We've learned the culture. We've learned the language. We've learned to like the food. We are essentially part of this country, but when it comes down to, you know, a piece of document, we're not. So all I have to say is that we really just want to be given a chance to prove ourselves.
Well, you have proven yourself, and you're certainly contributing. I hope they are listening to all of this. What's your American dream? You know, someone waves a magic wand and you see yourself 20 years from now. What's your dream?
I'm going to be at the top of the media industry. It's not a dream. It's going to happen.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. How do people find out about BT Livin? And I understand
Yes.
it's because you're always on the B team in sports. I read about you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So an athlete you weren't, but an artist and a music producer and a videographer, certainly you're the A team. How do people find out about you?
You guys can find us on Instagram at bt.livin, no G. And then Facebook and YouTube, if you guys just type in BT Livin, will pop up the first one in the list.
Carlos, thanks for coming on, and best of luck to you. We'll be following you, and hopefully, eventually, you and all the dreamers be able to stay here. I'm sure it's going to happen. Nobody is going to end up deporting millions of kids who came here at a young age. Eventually, the political process will catch up to you, and hopefully, in 20 years from now, we'll see you at the top. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you.